All right, folks, so we're going to try this again with another system. I've got example B set up here. If you can see here up here in the corner, here is your system of equations. Just like example A, neither equation in your system is ready to graph. So we need to move some things around and make it look like this. All right, so for my first equation, if you can look over here, I have x minus y equals 5. All right, x minus y. This is a positive x on the left. When I move it to the right, it becomes negative x. But here's where I need you to pay attention. There's a negative sign right here. I know that you think it's a minus, but once you move that x over to the right, and notice I made it a negative because I moved the sign, I moved the variable, so I changed the sign. This negative still needs to be taken care of. It still needs to be taken care of. So it goes from a minus y to a negative y, which is the same as saying negative 1. All right? It's the same as saying negative 1. Negative 1 times y. So you should know by now that in order to get rid of that negative 1, I have to divide everything by negative 1. And you know there's a negative 1 right there in front of your x. So the negative 1's cancel each other out. They leave me with a y. Negative 1 divided by negative 1. You guys should know that this is a positive 1x. And then 5 divided by negative 1 is a negative 5. So that's simple, guys. We've been doing that. That's pre-algebra, 8th grade math. Stop making careless mistakes because this is really going to cost you now that we're in second semester Algebra 1. So this is the equation we're going to graph. Y equals x, 1x minus 5. My slope is 1. My y-intercept is negative 5. So in this case, I'm going down. My y-intercept is negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my first dot on my line. And if my slope is 1, you should know that that means I go up 1 to the right 1. So I'm right there. And then you're going to take your straight edge just like I am. And you're going to graph the line. Nice long line all the way across your plane. Okay, so that's my first line. For my second equation, I have 3x plus y equals 3. I have a positive 3x on the left, which means that when I move it over, it becomes negative 3x. My y is fine. It's got plus y. That's the kind of y we want. So the second equation becomes y is equal to negative 3x plus 3. Negative 3x plus 3. So my y-intercept is 3. 1, 2, 3. My slope is negative 3. You know that there's an invisible 1 down there. So I go down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. Remember, you always go to the right. If you don't remember that, write that down in your notes right now. You always go to the right. You run to the right, always, okay? So I take my straight edge, got my points, connect my dots, just like that, okay? Now in this case, we didn't get lucky and land on a point from the other line. We landed on a point right about here. Now you guys, and I don't know how straight this is supposed to be, you guys have a straighter graph, so you should be able to look at it and make a better estimate than I. But I'm going to say I think this point of intersection is 2, and then it looks like I'm at negative 2. I go down to 2, and I'm going to put a question mark there because I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check. This will be my x, this will be my y. And I'm going to plug it into one of those equations to see if it satisfies the equation. If it doesn't, I've got the wrong point. It may be negative 3 because I'm pretty sure it's at 2. But my dot is in between the 2 and the 3. So I'm going to check this one, and if it doesn't work, I'll check 2, negative 3. So let's check with this equation. My y is negative 2. My x is 2, positive 2, minus 5. So that's negative 2 is equal to 2 minus 5. Negative 2, if you use your calculator if you need to, negative 2 is, it's says on the left is not equal to negative 3 on the right. So that's not my point of intersection. Like I thought, it's between negative 2 and negative 3. So if this is telling me that that side is negative 3, then this is wrong. My intersection is 2, negative 3. Because if I put a negative 3 here for my y, then that equation would be true. So I'm going to box this. I checked it. I know it's right. And I'm done. You got to do the same thing. Check your work. Because if you don't and you get it wrong, I'm just going to count the whole thing wrong because you didn't check it and it said clearly in your steps, step 3, check your work if you have to. All right, next video.